Welcome to the Savage Productions YouTube channel.
Hey, what's going on today? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to show you guys what we have in the shop. We have a very nice 2003 Cobra owned by a local man in Cincinnati, Ohio. He found this thing at a used car lot, and it's low mileage. I believe it's in the 19,000 range. This thing's like brand new. I mean, it is 100% original. It does have a Flowmaster catback, and it does have a JLT cold air intake on it. But other than that, it's 100% stock. So I got it up on the lift right now because we are doing some exhaust on it. We're going to be doing a high flow X pipe on this thing. I wanted to show you what this thing looks like underneath here. This is definitely not driven in the rain, snow at all. So I'm really surprised how it ended up on a used car lot, because it was obviously never driven in bad weather, because it's super clean. I'm going to just kind of pan this camera around slowly so you can see the condition it is underneath. I mean, it just surprises me. I would love to have this thing, man. Something like this that hasn't been modified, all original. You know, these things are bringing some pretty big money, and I think he got this for a bargain, man. I'm not sure. He told me what it was. I can't remember, but I know he got it for a very good price. But what I want to do is, once I get the exhaust done, I want to lower this thing down and, you know, show you guys what it looks like on the inside, engine compartment. I mean, this thing has you know, original brake pads and everything on it. Like I say, it's a very low mileage car. The paint on it is perfect, and I can't see any signs anywhere of it being repainted or in an accident or anything. So like I say, once I get that exhaust on it, I'm going to lower this thing down and show you guys what this thing looks like on the ground, so you can get a better view of it. So what we're going to be doing, like I say, we're going to be doing exhaust right there. We're going to be doing the number 8 cylinder cooling mod. You know, that's a problem with these. They say, I mean, if you don't really, you know, run the crap out of them, typically you don't have a problem with them. He wants to do the cooling mod, so we're doing the most affordable one. There's a couple different mods out there. This one here is from Lethal Performance. This is their cooling mod. It's you don't have to pull the transmission to do this one. It basically, this particular piece here goes into a freeze plug on the driver's side back of the head, not on the very back, but on the top of the head, on the very back side of the blower. So you can really get to these by pulling the blower off, and sometimes you can do them without pulling the blower off. It's just a good affordable way to get this cooling mod taken care of. You know, these have a hot spot on the number 8 cylinder, because there's no flow that comes out of the head, so that takes care of it. The passenger side cylinder does have a flow. It comes out of the head, goes through the heater core, so it constantly flows through that head. And then we're also doing a billet flow pulley, doing a 2.76 pulley on the blower, and we're going to be doing their full pulley idler kit, or however you want to say it. It's actually, they got a single pulley idler kit, and then they have a 4 pulley idler kit with the bracket. He opted to do that, so it just really helps when you do this whole deal. It helps on belt wrap, keeps from having belt slippage. And we're going to be using the Gates heavy duty green belt on this one. That'll be in tomorrow. We're also going to be doing a custom tune on it. Have an SCT tuner and a custom tune. We'll be data logging this one and getting the tune dialed in pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, we are also going to be changing the spark plugs. We're going to be putting some TR6s in. I'm going to check them and see if it already has some TR6s. This is one step colder. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. And as you can see, some of the, I've already kind of started taking stuff apart on the blower just so we can, you know, get the pulleys in and get this cooling mod done. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this exhaust knocked out and get this lowered down, and we'll show you the rest of it here in just a few minutes. Alright, so we got the X pipe on. Just want to kind of show you guys what it looks like. Looks a whole lot nicer than what was under there before, obviously. But it came out really nice. So this one is basically a three-piece design on either side. I'm thinking if you had long tubes, then the long tubes would actually connect to this pipe here. This pipe connects to the X pipe, same with the other side. I would say that if it had a high flow cat, the high flow cat would go here and here. So you have your choice between high flow cats or off-road. But it really fit really nice. You just never know with when you go with this three-piece. I like to have really just one piece all the way up, but yeah, but it's it looks good. It fit real nice. Perfect fit right to the cat back, which is Flowmaster cat back. I mean, it came out really nice. Like I had showed you before, we're going to do the pulley swap. So this pulley here, that one's going to be replaced. That one up there is going to be replaced. That one there is going to be replaced. And of course the pulley on the blower up there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one done right here while I'm underneath the car. It'll be a lot easier. And I'll jump on that and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so I got the went ahead and put the bottom idler on. As you can see where it's at down there by the balancer. This is the stock one that was down there. It's a little bit smaller. So there is 4 idlers. This is a 4 idler kit. But yeah, so it has one 92 millimeter, it has 3 100 millimeters, and then of course it has the blower pulley. We're going with a 2.76. That should make right about 15 pounds. So what it does is you're actually adding a 4th idler pulley. Stock it has only 3, 1, 2, 3, and then there's a tensioner that actually goes over that way, over there. So what we do, we're going to go ahead and take this one off. We're going to take this one off and replace both of these. So the one at the bottom I just put on is a 100 millimeter. This one's going to be a 100 millimeter, and then there's one right, it's going to go right here, and I'll show you in a minute. That's the 100 millimeter. This one is replaced with a 92 millimeter. So this is kind of cool. This bolt right here, you actually remove that bolt. This is the bracket that comes in the kit. Okay, this bracket is going to bolt right here. It comes with a longer bolt, and if you notice it has a hole right here. Well, that hole, there's already a threaded hole there, and it comes with a bolt for that. So it's actually held in place right there, and then that's where the other 100 millimeter pulley goes. It makes a really tight wrap around this pulley on the supercharger, and it eliminates any slippage. So it's really a cool design. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those pulleys and put them on. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You want to torque these to factory specs. I do put blue Loctite on them. It's about 18 foot-pounds, and billet, let's see, what did they say, 18 to 22? Yeah, so billet flow recommends 18 to 22 foot-pounds. You really don't want to go much tighter than that. You'll stretch the bolts, maybe break them. So that's why I want to put blue Loctite on. So, but yeah, anyway, while we're up here, just take a look at this. You know how clean this thing is. All original. Looks a little bit of a mess now because I've got this complete bracket assembly off of here for the EGR, the bypass valve, and down in there, you probably can't see it. Once I get to that, I'll show you, but that's where the freeze plug is. I got to knock out to put the cooling mod in. But yeah, I went ahead and got some of it taken apart. So you can tell he keeps it clean. It's a little dusty here where the cold air kit was. Couldn't get in there, wipe that clean. But you can see how clean this thing really is. I mean, it's super nice. So I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and open the door so you can see inside this thing. You know, it's pretty much brand new in here. I mean, look at the seats. You know how a lot of times this has got the suede inside with the leather on the outside. Leather's in good shape. Everything really is great shape on this thing. Of course, it don't have any mileage on it. Hell, it still smells brand new in here. Super nice. Has anybody even sat in the back seat? Doesn't look like it. Hell, even the back of the seats are really good shape. Yeah, so pretty nice. Looks like he's got an aftermarket ball on there. Shift knob there. Huh. Yeah. So, but now that it's on the ground, you can kind of get a little bit better look at it. See if we can walk around here. I mean, the paint on this thing is perfect. Wheels are like new. It does have some new tires on it. What are these? Nito G2s, I think. Yeah. I don't know why I would need new tires. I guess they just wanted some nicer tires on there because it's, like I say, it's got low mileage. It's only like 19,000. Maybe somebody just wore the back tires right out. Doesn't appear to be though. So yeah. All right. Well, I want to get back on it, and once I get them pulleys replaced, the belt, I had to order a belt, and it'll be here tomorrow, so I won't be able to get the belt on today. All right, so I'm back the next day here. This is Saturday, and I've got all the pulleys on, got the supercharger pulley on. I've already did quite a bit on this cooling mod. I'm going to show you kind of what I've got done so far. I've got all of this out of the way. I've unhooked it all in the back. I've got it moved out of the way. I unhooked the EGR tube. Unhooked it from the exhaust manifold at the bottom and also from the EGR just to kind of get it out of the way. And I've unhooked all this harness here. Let me get the flashlight so you can look down in there. I've already knocked the freeze plug out. It was a little bit of a trick. You got to get that freeze plug out, and then you want to make sure everything's clean. There's no burrs or anything. What goes in is this piece. I've already put. It comes with this piece of tube here. Comes with this fitting that you want to screw into this. Seal it up, of course. Make sure it's good and tight. And then it has another 90 that fits this hose, and it's basically a reducer for a smaller hose, which is going to be this hose right here. That's the hose that comes in the kit. Okay, it already has like a loom on it to make it so it doesn't rub through or anything. So this particular thing here, you have to put the O-ring on. You want to actually put it on. It goes on this bottom groove right here. And then this top groove is for this bracket. Let me see if I can just kind of set this up here. So once you fit it down into the hole where the freeze plug was, this bottom groove is for the O-ring, and then this top groove is for the bracket. And it just basically sits in there like that, and then there's a screw that's going to go and hold this whole thing down. And there is a threaded, you can't see it though, there's just no way for me to show you. It's up underneath that that wire, the harness there. I'll have to move it out of the way. It's going to be a little fun to get to. You could take the supercharger off to do it, but it's, no matter which way you do it, it's going to be a little difficult. So they basically give you the instructions on how to do it with the supercharger on, and that's what I want to do. But yeah, once that's in there, then you basically hook this long hose to it. It's going to wrap around the back side of the supercharger, and there's a couple places that you can route it. You can either route the hose through here. Of course, you want to make sure you zip tie it so it doesn't get tangled up in the throttle. And then it ends up, it's going to end up right, let me move this out of the way. It's going to end up right here, and I'll show you what you do there. Comes with this coupler. You want to cut the hose. Of course, the end of this pipe is right here, so you want to cut the hose far enough to where this is going to go inside it like that. Just basically cut a section out. So that's going to go right there. And then that hose is going to come in and hook right here. And that's pretty much it. So it's going to flow out of the back of the driver's side head, come around and flow back into here. Where the passenger side, it flows out of the passenger side head already from the factory, goes into the heater core, comes out of the heater core, and then there's a hose under the supercharger that comes back, ties in here. I don't know why Ford didn't. All they had to do was come out of the factory head, or the driver's side head, and go into a T for the hose that comes back to the front. And then they would have coolant flowing through the passenger side, coolant going through the driver's side. But I guess they figured it wasn't a big enough deal to do that. And you know, you buy a car like this, you know, you gotta mod it up, you gotta race it, road race it, whatever, drag race it, and it creates hot spots on number 8 cylinder. I did also want to show you the pulleys. I got them all done. I still got to torque this bolt here. But yeah, so I already showed you the bottom pulley, which is the 100 millimeter. This other one, which is 100 millimeter. This is the one that's added, 100 millimeter. That's the bracket that I was telling you about. That goes on there. And then this is the 92 millimeter pulley. And then the 276 pulley. And I had to, you know, press the stock one off. We had to press this one on. And obviously when you press it on, you only press it on until it's even. The pulley is even with the shaft of the supercharger. And I haven't torqued this down yet because I got to wait until I put the belt on before I can torque it down. And we also got the correct length belt. We're using the green Gates heavy duty belt. Alright, so I got the hard part done on this cooling mod. This is supposed to be a little bit easier of a cooling mod, and honestly I would think it would be easier just to pull the transmission out and do the cooling mod on the back of the head, or you had to pull the supercharger off completely to do this cooling mod in a timely manner. And instead of pulling the supercharger off and going through all that, I would rather just pull the transmission. It'd probably be faster to do that, but I want to show you what I ended up getting done here. This is the hose that it comes with. It's a reducer. It goes from here to a 90. Okay. So back here, you can see where I finally got that fitting down in there. It was a little bit of a challenge because it's really tight. Like I say, if you pull the supercharger completely out, you can get to it pretty easy. But I was able to get it down in there, got everything cleaned up, lubed up the O-ring, popped it in. Had to do a little grinding on there's a little bracket that comes with it that I showed you that actually holds that piece in there. There's already a threaded hole in the head, so I had to grind the bracket a little bit to get it to fit. But it's all down in there. So what they've got here is this little short hose that would go just like that. And of course you can't really put the hose on and then put that fitting down in there. I tried that. You just can't do it. It's too tight of a fit with the O-ring. So basically you do that, and then here's the other hose that you would come around and plug on right there. You know, that's kind of how they got it. Now once I had to take this fuel rail loose and actually pull it tight towards the front. I got it zip tied up to give me more room. So once I put that back, it's going to be pushing against this hose. So really I think the hose should be longer. They should have that hose coming up here because there's nothing back here. I mean, there's nothing up here. So that hose really should be longer. So instead of using that hose, I'm going to use this hose. This is a brand new hose, or I don't really have, I've got some hose this size, but it's kind of old. I don't have any new hose this size, so I'm not going to use any old hose. So I could actually cut a section out of here, but I think this would be actually perfect for what we are going to do. I don't know if you guys, this looks familiar or not, but this is a heater hose on a Fox body. It goes from the heater hose at the firewall into the metal tube that runs along the passenger side intake. Then there's another hose that goes from the heater tube up to the water pump. But anyway, this is on the back side of it. There's two of them like this. This is the smaller of the size, which is the exact same size that we need. So I was thinking, and this is a brand new hose, I was kind of thinking I could put it in here like so. I had to put it on down all the way, but that way, because see, all this is going to be pushed back. All this is going to be pushed back up against it here. So if I use that hose, it will come up and bend completely out of the way. And then I can put that reducer 90 into it. And then this hose, it'll connect right there. Okay, so here's the finished product. I got everything put back on, got the bracket for the EGR controlled. Pretty much everything is all. I should have actually left it off so I could really show you kind of what it looks like down in there, but you've seen how I was going to do it before. Let's come over here on this side, see maybe we can see something. So actually, this one right here is the hose. I got it running underneath, and it actually is tying in to right there, that 90-degree reducer that I showed you earlier, that I ended up using the hose off of a Fox body for the hot water heater tube. So yeah, it basically runs there, it'll run underneath, kind of hidden, comes out right there, and then right here is where you actually cut the hose. You got to cut a little section out. Want to make sure you have enough. Right here is the end of this hose and the end of both hoses right here. Just got to make sure you have enough to fit over the actual flare. And yeah, that's it. Pretty, you know, pretty clean. I mean, it's comes out to the front, but it's all right. And then I've got the belt on. That's the finished product there. You can see how it's got a nice little tight wrap around the pulley on the blower. It's all good. I've already fired it up. Sounds good. Let me go ahead and fire this thing up. You'll see it definitely got the Mustang Flowmaster sound now, since we have the X pipe on here. It already had the Flowmaster catback. Yep, 19,000 is what it was. Yeah, so if you want to do one of these cooling mods, this particular style, you can get them from Lethal Performance. They even have them on eBay as well. Of course, this particular mod is not just for the Cobras, it's actually for any of the 4-valve, 4.6s. So, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, obviously if you're not in a situation to pull the transmission, this would be the one that you want to do. Whether you want to do it the way I did it or take the supercharger off. But either way, it can be done without pulling transmission. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up here. If you like what you've seen, just please subscribe and like it and share. Well, you guys have a good day, and we'll see you on the next one.